Well, I started enjoying musical score right from a very young age, when I was about like probably 1 or 2, I think, because I remember the soundtrack to Star Trek: The Motion Picture, and that's probably one of the first soundtracks I actually remember. And I was a Jerry Goldsmith fan right from the year dot, basically. And as time progressed, and I started enjoying films and film score, and most notably the sort of early works of James Horner, and certainly John Williams, and very much John Barry. Getting into actual composing started after I did performing arts, and that was a 2-year course that I did in England at Weston-super-Mare. We had a Yamaha PSR keyboard there. It was quite a good one, and I was sort of playing around with it one day. And this was actually back in '97 when Titanic had just came out, and the theme song for that was huge, and that was back when everybody liked it, you know, because they hadn't heard it that much. And so for our song and dance project, we decided to, me and a couple of friends, decided to do a production of that, which went down a treat and everybody liked it, and I played it live on the stage, basically. And after that, I decided it would be kind of cool, rather than specializing in acting, to actually get into doing musical production. So I then went on to do a BTEC course in music technology, and sort of composing sprang from there, basically. My equipment of choice, definitely a Mac. Can't live without it. Never used a PC. I use a MacBook Pro 17-inch model as my main and pretty much only computer for composing with, and I use Logic Pro, now version 9, as the principal composition tool. The libraries that I use are actually some of the most advanced in the world, and that's the Vienna Symphonic Library, which is the reason that the music I get to write sounds as good as it does, is because the library is really, really good, and a combination of that and Logic make a really great sound. You know, I'm actually pretty open. I like the idea of composing for just about any kind of genre. In fact, I've tried my best not to lock myself into any one particular thing. I love science fiction and fantasy, and some of my best or my favorite scores by composers are in that genre. Those are the genres in the music that excite me, but I'm quite content to actually work in any genre. I mean, now and again I actually get the urge to really want to get into working on just a romantic drama, you know, or something where I can be very intimate with. Usually with science fiction you don't get the chance to be too intimate, because it's usually you know, more zany than that. Process of creation with a musical score. With a theme, you don't necessarily need video. So usually what happens is, you know, you're given a brief, either by the director or by whoever's working on the film. I talk with Mike Struck from NeoFX quite a lot on that. And essentially the process is just sitting down thinking about the mood and the emotion that you want to convey, and then trying to find a musical instrumentation that also suits that, and you find a rhythm and a pace, and you sort of block out your theme, and basically it starts with a sketch, and you just you put down a motif that you like, usually write a few different variations and toss it around, and then I usually do a beta test just to see. I send it to whoever I'm working with and just see if they like it. If they say, yeah, that sounds cool, then I'll continue in that direction. If they say, oh no, it should be faster, it should be slower, it should be happier, it should be sadder, then of course I adjust accordingly. But when you're talking about actually scoring a film in itself, the process of that is a question of looking at the film and determining. Because I mean, music is all about expressing the emotional value of the film. That's all it's really meant to do. All it can really do is heighten what's on screen. It can't really create anything, but it can at least, emphasize what's there. So when you look at a movie, you have to decide what's already on screen, and then you have to find a way to emphasize that with the music. Well, I got to admit, the inspiration on Archangel, when Mike Struck first talked to me about Archangel, I think he probably mentioned something about like, you know, the Buffy the Vampire series and some of the other sort of similar genres. I was thinking, well, I've never seen these series, and to be honest, I don't really want to, because if I do, then it'll colour what I'm going to do from the music. So when I sat down with Archangel, it was like, okay, let's, you know, it's about demons and angels fighting, so that's a big thing with that. So the inspiration on that is actually part of the vocal for the music, because you have quite clearly the angels and the demons in this kind of primeval sort of shouting match. The main idea there is that you're not actually sure which side is which, so it's a bit ambiguous. You know, the angels could easily be the demons and vice versa. So you can't really tell, but they're at war, and that's the thing, is to make a piece of music that was dramatic and at war. All the projects I work on are also different. You know, when I first started with Farragut, which was For Want of a Nail, the main inspiration there was just simply to do a good score which, you know, was worthy of Star Trek and worthy of a good feature film, keeping it original but also keeping it in the vein of, you know, what the conventions of what's been done in the genre already. They initially took me on to do music for their trailer, actually the second trailer for Want of a Nail, which was kind of fun. So I got a chance to, I think it was about 30 seconds worth of film. And then they had told me about the animated show that they were working on, and they wanted an adaptation of their Farragut theme for that. So I worked on a couple of versions of that. With Odyssey, I've actually only worked on one other Hidden Frontier production, which was Helena, and that was the first episode of their second season. And that was really good. That was actually one of the most fun Star Trek projects I've done to date. It was 28 minutes of film, which is actually quite nice, because, you know, it's not, you know, feature films are good, but sometimes they can actually be quite a chore, you know, because there's a lot of work to be done on them. Helena was a nice bite-sized sort of version of that, and it was a good dramatic episode. I'm quite proud of that work, actually. There's your blooper. Oh dear. You'll have to bleep that one. Right, sorry, give me a line. What am I saying here? So everybody, you can now enjoy. So everybody, here's. I don't like looking into the gun. It's just, you know, it's not good, you know. It's frightening. Now you're getting the bloopers. Now they're coming out. You know, I go through the same thing when I do my podcast. Every time I try to start the show, it's like, "Hi everybody, welcome to the." Oh shit, here we go.